What up, peeps? Welcome to another episode of the Kisscapades podcast. My name is the Kiss Bandit, and in this podcast, we talk about health, wealth, love, and happiness. We host different guests with, different experiences in life. It can be an expertise in a certain career or field, or just your day-to-day life people. Today, we do have a psychologist, and what's the other word I can use to describe? Airbnb
manager.
Mm-hmm. So, let her introduce herself a little bit. We'll get a little bit to her background, how she got there, and just dive deep into conversations that, matter around us, right?
For sure.
So introduce yourself and tell people what you do.
I'm Elsie Akoth. I am a B&B agent stroke manager, and I'm also a psychologist.
That's all.
Of course, I have other things I do.
You can do some other sprinkle things if you want.
I'm also a poet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a writer. I used to work for the Nairobian, but not anymore. I have so many things I do. Oh, yes, I'm also an activist. Yeah.
Activist?
I do a lot, yes. I do activism for mental health and against rape.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can talk about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll get into that. So how did you get into the Airbnb business? I know this is something that I've wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
And, before we had a little bit of a technical thing, my apologies. So just let me know how you got into the Airbnb business.
Yeah.
Was it during COVID or?
I had a friend who started B&Bs during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and she was looking for someone to be able to market for her and get for her clientele. So a friend recommended me to her.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I started working for her. For a year, I worked for her for a year, and then I learned some skills from her. So after that, I branched out and became an agent. Of course, working that whole year, I was able to connect with other owners. So after that, I got people now to manage for them their B&Bs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, Airbnb seems to be also a highly competitive kind of field.
They want to start taxing us. You know that?
Oh, wait, there was no tax in Airbnb?
No. But they want to start taxing us.
Mr. President, Mr. President, I salute you. But, I think now the government, they said they're trying to squeeze money each and every corner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll be coming for you guys too. You said content creators, they won't be left. But other countries are doing it. So I don't know why now they've thought of doing it. But I think Mr. President Pierre is squeezing people everywhere.
Other countries are doing it, but they're giving people free medical care.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I understand.
Mr. President.
Okay. I understand now. And interesting, because you've mentioned that, I just want to know, what's a typical clientele for Airbnb? I mean, because where do your units reside for the most part? Upper class, middle class areas. Where do you have most of your pieces?
Definitely upper class, because there's more money there. Mm-hmm. Most people come then take units for long term, so that means more profit.
Mm-hmm.
Clientele definitely sponsors with their young girls, or the Mama Waharia with their young boys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It goes both ways. It does go both ways.
So, and I think just being in that industry, you being a psychologist, also being in that field, I'm guessing you kind of have to wrap around in your head that you can't judge people. You can never,
I mean,
right?
not even just every single person I come across. I'd find a drunk blacked out in the trenches, and I wouldn't be like, oh, Nimlevi. I'd be like, okay, there's something they're drinking to that extent to mask. That, my first thought is always analyzation, not judgment.
Yeah. Well, to me, I'd be like, what? At this hour, my friend, at this hour, you're drunk. And I'll just be like, it must be nice. It must be nice.
You wish it was you.
No. No. I mean, the craziest part is, we'll get to that, but let's just finish the Airbnb part. Like you're saying, for the most part, I'm guessing if it's sponsors or guys who are linking up for hookups and stuff.
Foreigners.
Foreigners.
Yeah, people who like partying.
Also, they just want like a space where they can. It's a crib. We can come and.
Because most foreigners take long term, so 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. The ones who want to come and find everything is set up, not going to shop and buy everything from scratch. Then, of course, family, but very rarely. Family is normally the bigger units, like their own compounds and all that. Yeah, but very rarely. Most clientele, it's those first three. The sponsors, the foreigners, and the ones who like partying.
Okay, and rate-wise, how much are we talking about if it's Airbnbs in upper class areas?
If it's a studio, let's say 3,000, one bedroom 4,000 to 5,000, two bedroom 6,000 to 7,000, three bedroom 8,000 to 9,000. That's upper class. You can get a studio for 1,500. Roysambu, TRM Drive. You can get one for 1,000. Mombasa, Shanzu.
Without bed bugs.
Let's be honest.
I'm just asking. You know?
Quantity for quality. Like the more you spend, the better it is.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You know, because at times you'll come each other. If you are like couples and stuff, it'll be like, yo, you're the one who brought this nonsense to this house. It's just the two of you went and spent a weekend somewhere, and So at times, get your money's worth. The extra you spend, might get a good quality time and.
Comfort. Come on.
Comfort.
There's no
comfort.
joy in struggling in life. Like if you can pay for convenience, then do it.
True.
Yeah.
True. So Airbnb business booming right now in Nairobi, but of course we have to talk about that's your business is run due to high infidelity in Nairobi.
Your man is my man, is our man, is their man. Like purpose on sharing.
So yeah, and since you're running that business and it's something that you clearly enjoy, it's making you money. Did I ask if that's something, you want, what you actually wanted to be in school or, uni before you got into the Airbnb business?
The psychology part, yes.
We haven't mentioned that. That was on the previous.
That was in the intro.
Technical difficulty thing. So, okay.
But the BNB, no. I actually became passionate about it in 2020.
Cause of money or cause of meeting new people? Like what?
Because of an
what's the
opportunity. Because I was told to start marketing for someone, and then I became passionate about it. I've been thinking about going back to school to do real estate, so I can now do BNB proper. Because you see now, I don't have the theory. Even the one I have, it's just what I've gone out of my way to try and look for, like online, and also from mentorship from the person I used to work for. Yeah, but I want to now do it theoretically, so I'm able to like apply it practically and all that. Because you can imagine if I actually do this, I can have BNBs all over the world.
Yeah, and I think it's the craziest part. Now because we're still on Airbnb, what about I know it has a category of activities. Is that something that you've ever touched on or no?
In what sense?
In Airbnb, there's a section for activities for people who are let's say it's a foreigner coming in the country.
Oh, yes.
There's a section for activities where somebody can add, is it like a tour? It can be a tour, sightseeing. Maybe it could be like a giraffe center thing. You can add it on top of. Is that something that you've thought of?
It's something I'm doing. I actually have a friend who does our game drives at the national park.
Oh, Elsie. Hey, come on.
You can't limit yourself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
even surprises, graduations, birthdays, engagements, everything. So I try to incorporate everything. Of course, I don't know everything from the ground. So I look for someone I know who does it. And I'm
can.
Yes, we can partner and do something together.
Okay, so that's interesting because there's something I want to do, an activity I want to include in Airbnb. But in Ghana. Are you game for that?
Ghana, that's you've
West
literally, what's it called? You've challenged me and I'm open.
Oh, no. I mean, it has to be, if we're talking about, the reason I'm thinking about it in Ghana, it's because Ghana has been the central destination of, almost so many people are coming from the States, from athletes, those people who are going back to their roots, they've done the DNA test and they find out like they're half or quarter Nigerian or a third West African, and they're always going back there. So it's just something that I've thought of doing with something special. I can't mention it here because you know how Kenyans are. You just mentioned something. Kesha, somebody's already there. Like, yo, guys, but they can also do.
Imagine that's happened to me.
It has
before. Like, there's a club along Thika Road. I saw the place, and I'm like, this place would be so nice to have a club at the top. I swear, I was sitting next to an investor. Did I know?
No.
Did I know?
They went immediately, and
Lalinita grand opening. The audacity.
Now you see, it happens. It happens, though.
We move. But yes, Ghana. Do you have an idea about where you want to?
Oh, yeah. It's Accra.
All right.
Where the money resides.
We shall discuss this.
Yeah, this will be off camera, but it will be something nice. I can promise you that. And then now, like, I forgot to ask, like, what exactly did you study, like, in uni?
I did international relations and psychology, double major.
Where's the? You mentioned the law thing. That's
thing.
Something that you wanted to be.
Yes, I wanted to do law in high school because I had this math teacher who used to tell me, like, he'd really gas me up and tell me, like, that is exactly who you should be. And he was my favorite teacher. So, of course, influence.
Walimu.
But I made up my own mind. After Form 4, I saw my results. I'm like, okay, what is your spirit calling you to do?
What makes sense? What will make you happy?
It was diplomacy. And then I was like, I looked at the minors. I'm like, what is drawing me most? Psychology. Then did it for 2 semesters. I'm like, double major now.
It's something you're passionate about. People, of course.
Very, 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 very. Psychology really opens up your mind. Like, you'd find where... Of course, all of us reason according to nature and nurture, what we've been taught and how we've grown up.
Yeah.
Of course, genes and all of that. But there's so much more outside the box that we're told not to access because syllabus, meaning.
Yeah.
But we can. You can think for yourself. You can look at, like, we can all look at that door and say, I'll say it's green. You were assuming it's brown because the color scheme you were taught in school was brown. What if my eyes has a deficient?
That's true.
But
now, how do you... And here's the thing. Even when you're talking about psychology, how do you differentiate? I don't want to use the word crazy, but at times you can tell, like, somebody is, like, on a normal kind of path and there's somebody who's, like, disturbed, traumatized, and all those things, just on a regular day-to-day conversation. Because I'm sure, like, being now, it's something that you practice, right?
Yes.
So if you practice, I'm sure you meet so many different people. How do you differentiate, let's say, how do you tell or explain to someone, like, having stress in life, it's normal for everyone, right? But how do you explain it to someone who they think that stress is, or how do you differentiate that normal stress to depression or something that's extreme?
That's actually a very good question you asked because I've noticed these days people normally mix RAT and depression, RUT. RUT is basically you digressing from the normal schedule you normally have.
Yeah.
Like, for example, right now, let's say if I'm in a RAT, I wouldn't be showering every single day. I don't brush my teeth. I don't journal. I don't what. Someone will come and look at me and say that's depression. But you see, that's like me diverging, like, from what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I've gotten into these lazy habits or these bad habits.
Yeah, in Swahili we call it ushenzi.
So you see, it's normally a thin line. Like, you can find...
Yeah, because now
someone can be sad and someone will diagnose that person is depressed. But it's just a bad month. Maybe everything, because...
Or heartbreak.
Or a heartbreak, or loss of job.
Yeah, exactly.
Or loss of someone.
Exactly.
But someone will be like, that person is depressed. But no, you can't. Most people, if you realize, especially in Africa, it's very hard for us to be taught about mental health. So that's why we go with what we assume we know. That's why things like sexuality, you'll find someone who's gay, they're told that that's for Westerns. Come on.
What? If somebody does what?
I'm someone who is suicidal, you're told that's for Westerns. Like, that's for people abroad, in Europe, in all that.
Kinda. No, don't look at me like that. No. You see, Mpaka, you're just like, am I not entitled to my opinion?
Of course you are.
Yeah. So, but you know why people say that? I think it's because, let's say, Gen Z is slightly like from a different era, how they've grown and stuff. But I think from our parents' time, we kind of didn't see like, there were not so many clinical, analyzed, assessed, and just put, that information wasn't out there.
But the depressed, anxious, schizophrenic were
they there? Were they
but
there?
they were taken as mad people. Those are the ones who used to be outcasts back in the day.
But it was very rare to find those extremes. I think you wouldn't find back then like a kid who's like, 16, 17. I think there's a friend of mine who, like the sister, I think the kid is just like a teenager and she wanted an iPhone for Christmas, which she wasn't given because the mom was like, you're talking about like 100 G's. Come on, I can get you a simple phone. She was like, no, me, I want an iPhone because my friends all have iPhones. We want to airdrop, nini. So when the mom said that, the kid literally like broke down and she was just not eating, locking herself in the room, not talking to people, talking to people in school. Baka now the teacher's like, hey, Kwani, what's up? Are you beating your kid at home? It was just the iPhone. And then the mom was like, okay, by there I give up. If it's the phone you want and you nini. So the mom was like, yo, here, have the phone. Bought her the phone and stuff. And the next day, back to normal.
I think the appropriate way to answer your question, like why is it more rampant now than before?
Yeah.
If you think about it, let's just like dial back even to evolution. There are more complicated diseases right now than they were before. So like with progression in time, of course, the mind also progress. Of course, fluctuation. So shida zinaongezeka. And of course, most people, not everyone is able to like deal with issues the same way. There are those who will turn to drugs and alcohol. There are those who self-harm. There are those who deal with it properly. They go for therapy. They work out. They create art, depending on how you want to release. But yes, it's more rampant now because times have changed. People have changed. The world has changed. The economy has changed. Fikiria, like back in the day, 100 shillings, that's breakfast and lunch. Imagine. Bread used to be 7 bob. 7.
Yeah.
7 bob.
Yeah.
1 cigarette, 1 bob.
Yeah. Now the basic commodities, man. Like I've even seen unga now heading to 250.
Sugar is 500.
That's crazy.
Sugar.
That's
and we
crazy.
have mumias over here in Kakamega where they have plantations of sugarcane.
And I think it's going to get worse as we head towards December. It's bad.
If you're listening to this and you're not grown yet, please don't rush. It's a scam.
Don't be in a hurry.
Do not.
Don't be in a hurry.
Stay in your father's house, your mother's house. Don't move out. Things are tough out here.
And just speaking of just psychology and stuff, like now I'm guessing you counsel people.
Yes.
You do it professionally.
Yes.
Who's like, who are the most people that like reach out to you?
Millennials and Gen Z. Yeah. So they're the ones who have, I can say one thing I counsel people about the most right now, it's depression and suicide. And of course, suicide is an after effect of depression. That's when like you reach the limit and you're like, okay, I'm done. The only way out of my problems is to end my life.
We'll go deep into that, like, because I want to ask, like, what exactly seems to depress and make really people want to, like, end it. But personally, have you ever been in a place where you'd be like, yeah, this is just too much?
Yeah, a couple of times.
You have? A couple of times?
Yeah. I talk about it openly because I feel like it's a topic that we should discuss without being ashamed about it. So yeah, a couple of times. First time I was below 18. Second time.
Before you were 18, you've thought about Nini?
Like
because of what mostly?
Trauma. Let me say depression and rape trauma. And I'd be so pissed off when I wake up in the hospital and I'm being saved. But I look back and I'm like, there's a reason why I'm still here, because I would not have helped the people I've helped currently. So there's a reason why God was like, not today, not today.
This was before you were 18?
The first time was before I was 18, then 3 more times after I was 18.
Listen, and we use the word grape because YouTube nowadays, if you say, it kind of blocks your entire video. Nobody gets to watch everything that we've talked about. So we'll use the word grape.
Okay.
But you're saying it happened once before you were 18.
Yes.
And
the suicide attempt, yes. Once before 18, thrice after 18.
you actually you tried.
Yes. But I'm here. That should tell you it wasn't
No,
successful.
but that's what I'm saying. No. Yeah, we don't want it to be successful, of course. But I'm just saying, so when I met you, it's something you had already attempted.
No, let me tell you another thing about mental problems.
Because I want to understand.
Yeah.
You have to see where I'm coming from. Because like for me, I'm always like, I think even we've had a couple of debates, like, when we're just guys, and that's what I'm saying. Like on my podcast, I don't want any endorsements, officially don't want any endorsements, because I might say or express something that's in my head out of curiosity, because I want to understand. Because me, I'm always thinking like, wow, I've been in that space where I'm like, money's not coming in, gigs are not coming in, girlfriends have left me. I'm just like, what? Okay, this life. But then again, I'm like, but finishing myself.
The most suicidal people are the happiest outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like
really?
What we do or what I used to do, I'd mask it. Because I care.
Anytime I bumped into you, I can't remember anytime you are never
never find me sad
happy.
Never. Yeah. Never. Like I really care about people who care about me. So I try to hide when I'm going through stuff. I know it's a toxic way of dealing with problems, but I'm better now because at least I looked for a therapist that had no idea about who I am, what I'd been through, or any of that, because it's easier opening up to a stranger.
Yeah. Actually, true.
And then you see, for instance, if I'm going through depression and I'm feeling suicidal and I call my mom, I have called her before once, and I could tell in her voice she was more broken than I was actually feeling I'm broken.
Yeah.
So you see,
now you have your trauma and you're traumatizing somebody else again. Yeah.
So that's why most people hide. You'll even find you'll go out to the club with someone tonight. Tomorrow they're found dead in their house. And they were the ones who are dancing with you the whole night, serving you shots,
Yeah.
So
I've actually over the past few years, that's the thing that's actually like caught me in. Because I've seen like, Nani killed themselves. I'm like, what? That makes no sense.
You didn't even see any signs.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like they were doing better. They were always happier. They were always taking trips. I was looking at it saying like, that must be nice. I wish that was me. And after a couple of months or years, you hear somebody like just like, it's so confusing because now it makes you reevaluate and actually appreciate some of the little things that you actually do on a day-to-day basis.
That's true.
And for you to attempt it 3 to 4 times, I can't wrap my hand around my head around it, because 4 times is a bit excessive.
Yeah.
Because that means in between, has it been recent? No,
the most recent one was 2 years ago.
2? During COVID?
It was nothing to do with COVID.
But during COVID period?
Yeah.
Oh, COVID was crazy.
I was
crazy.
Good. COVID, I was good.
But good having fun or
like
what?
Good, like I didn't
have,
I was comfortable, like I didn't struggle like with retrenchments, joining.
Me, I was trying to figure out my finances because I was like, I'm doomed. But now, because I'm a freelance, now what gave me comfort was like I was seeing like now 8 to 5 people going crazy because they're like, what do people do during the day? Because I don't know.
They used to a routine.
A routine. I wake up, I go, nini. So most actually turned into like now alcohol, drugs, spouses
infidelity.
like fight. Infidelity. Come on.
Yeah.
Good times during COVID. Good times. Met some friends. We lost some friends, but it was a good time during COVID. It was just an interesting time to be in. But when you say 2 years ago, that means it's past after COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would make you?
Depression.
Yeah, I still
And grape trauma. One
the
thing.
grape trauma. It's something that happened once,
No,
or
it's happened more than once. No, you see, for me,
I've had this argument, and I never want to sound insensitive, because I'm always like, is it something that happens with someone someone you couldn't read the signs? Because at times, like, you can kind of see like a sketchy person and be like, hey, this one I can't be around them, I can't handle, mpaka those ones of your friend will be like, yo. Because personally I've been in situations where, like, and this is like the weirdest part, right? Let's say I have like a female friend, and I would see or know somebody who's like, yo, this guy is sketchy. I'd be like, yo, just be careful, don't hang around such and such a person. And the craziest part is, like, they always end up. So it's gotten to a point where now I don't even know how to warn people, but at times I'm always like, maybe the best thing is actually just to have a podcast. I can talk about it, but nowadays, like, if you tell somebody don't do or put yourself in a certain situation, it's called misogyny,
victimization,
controlling, or trying to.
Because grape happens because of the grapist. Nothing to do with the person, nothing to do with the outfit the person was wearing, the location, the sobriety, the age. No, it's about the person who's doing it. Because if you are saying there are warning signs and you can warn people, fine, yeah, it happens where you can see someone sketchy, maybe when you're at a party with people and you can notice this person has ulterior motive.
Yeah.
But that literally brushes off the point that a 2-day-old child can still get gripped.
Yeah. Now you see those ones. Those 90, ones are. Yeah.
You see, so that's why we normally say it's just simple. It happens because of the grapist, nothing else. It doesn't matter whether you saw it coming, you didn't see it coming, you are dressed where, you are blacked out where, you are, you went to a party with strangers. It's about the grapist. Because I'd still go to a party with strangers and nothing happens to me.
That's true.
I'd still be here with you. Let's say I don't know you and maybe I'm seeing one thing. I'd still be here with you and nothing happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still be somewhere with 20 other people and something happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about the grapist.
But does it, in your case, was it somebody you knew?
Yes, all times.
All the time? Wait, listen. I'm confused now, because when we're talking about like something like suicide, right? That you said 4 attempts. So we're talking about rape has happened more than once.
Yeah, 3 individuals, separate times. First time I was a child.
3 different people.
Yeah, first time I was a child, like 8 to 11 years old. And then...
That's young.
I know. That's why I started the activism, because I know what it's like to go through that and have no one believe you.
That we're talking about family, friend, relative.
Yeah, relative.
Mm-hmm.
Second time, first year uni. Third time, second year uni. All people, I know them. That's
the thing now. And just help me understand, because, it's not that I don't understand. I'm just trying to think of how, because in most cases, victims, it always ends up almost like happening again and again to most victims. I don't know why, but maybe as a psychologist you would understand. I don't know if you'd understand, or maybe you can have a better way of explaining to someone, like, because I would never pretend I know how women think or how they move, or just, the process. Because I think, Tambo, like, it used to disturb me, like, why are chicks like this? Why always behaving like this? Why if I tell her to do this? It's gotten to a point now, because I'm in my 30s, I'm just like, yo, I don't even understand women. I thought with age I would, but I don't.
I'm a woman and I still don't understand them.
Yeah, so
That
you
should
understand
tell
what
you
I'm saying? Yeah.
something.
So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand, like, from a survivor, or should I say, like,
Survivor, yes.
a survivor, right? How does something like that end up happening, like, more than once? Because I'm thinking just even with trauma would make you, like, you wouldn't even want to be probably next to, or,
It's about the gripist. Because there are those who it happens once, there are those who it happens 20 times. And yes, it's about the gripist. Because all the 3 times it was different setups. First of all, I told you, the first when I was a child, I had no idea, no control
You
of what
said
was
8.
happening. 8 to 11 years old. I had no idea what was happening.
That's crazy.
And then, yeah, second time was a neighbor. Third time was someone I was with in primary school from class 5.
But
So-
also kind of like somebody you knew,
Someone I knew.
but now you've just grown and you know each other. And
No, we were friends. We stayed friends in primary,
You
high
were
school,
friends the whole time?
Yeah.
now that's crazy.
No, the third time, the most messed up part about the third time is there was there were 2 other people in the house, 2 females and him. And when the penetration woke me up,
Oh,
they
wait,
were right next to me. The girls were right next to me, and they said that I deserve it because I'm not heterosexual. I know. Moving on.
Were they your friends? Because the guy was your friend, right?
Yeah, the one
Kind
of the
of.
girl was someone I had. Let me call her an acquaintance.
That's why I'm just, I thank
I don't do friends anymore.
God sometimes, because I just don't know how some situations are supposed to be handled, because now how do you even explain that? Because I'm thinking like, or maybe like we said, I don't understand women, because if you're watching that happen, next time it could be you, or it will be you, or maybe it's even happened, and you're like,
She begged me to drop the kiss, telling me, you can't do that to him. Don't forget you've been friends from class 5. I'm like, where did you get this information from? Because I never told her.
yeah. Oh,
So maybe it was even something they had pre-planned. Because if you think about it, there's no way your parent will call me asking to pay me off to drop the case and you're innocent. But on social media, you go and say you're innocent. But to me, you're busy here sending me
Begging.
paragraphs and coming to the police station to beg me to drop it.
So
and telling me it was a mistake.
you can't do a mistake. That can't be a mistake. And
How do you have the time to remove? I'd worn sweatpants that tie, like you can tie them. How are you so gentle removing them and you tell me it was a mistake?
no, that can be a mistake. And I think the only issue not issue, even nowadays I try and just tread very carefully, because you don't know what people have gone through out there. And even at times I'm always asking things in advance, and people think that, hey, Kwani, why? How would you even ask me that? You just wait and then we go with the flow. I'm always like, no. I would want to know, so that I just know where we are page-wise. Like, are we just friends? Are we open to something else happen? I mean, I really need to know before I let you in a certain space, because I don't want to be in a situation where I'd put or make somebody uncomfortable. I would rather we not be friends than find myself in a position where I'm trying to make an advance on you, and that's not something that you know.
It's not mutual.
Yeah, it's not mutual. So I'd rather just stay away. There's so many people there will be like, yo, he stopped just talking to me. It's like, no, of course.
He ghosted me.
Yeah. But the thing is, if I know I like you in a certain way and you don't like me in that way, I would just not be. I don't even want to find myself in a place where I'd be confused. Like, does she want me or not? I just won't put myself in that situation, because people have gone through shit out here. Because I would reason like that, but how many other guys out there are reasoning like that?
As long as you're the 1%, that's better than nothing. And like it's mindful of you, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you influence your friends in the same way.
Yes, but listen, adults are adults. You can't tell an adult what to do. I swear, there's so many people out there, they'd say, like, he just stopped talking to me. But it's just because but there's so other guys and even chicks, like, people who talk about, like, I like the hunt. Me, I like guys who like, push me.
chase.
That kind of conversation. Nowadays, me, I'm always like,
And nobody got time.
no. Even this, I've been previous situations where, like, somebody wants me to choke them and stuff. I'm like, yo, listen, I know, but we're in such a sensitive time right now, because maybe you asked me for money and I didn't give you cash. And then here you are telling me, choke me.
Your parent is busy praying for you every day. You're busy telling someone's son to choke you.
Imagine. And then maybe you just wake up that day and you decide to go and, say like...
File a case.
Yeah,
Look at the marks.
And there's penetration.
And it was consensual, but attender a flip.
But that immediately, I'm inside already. Because medical tests would say in the end, I'm just saying it happens to some people, but that's what I'm saying. There's just a thin line now, the way how everyone is just going crazy with so many things. I'm sure it's stress and other things that are related to, like you said, it could be money, getting laid off work, your dreams and ambitions are not going to how you planned years ago, and you're trying to taking out on someone. Yeah. And I'm not shifting this from like women. I'm just saying like there's so many reasons different things can go sideways. And for me, that's just how I would move. Now I'm just extra careful with, I wouldn't want to be part of the problem in any way. So I'm always just like, it's okay. I've sent 2-3 messages being suggestive. It's like, hell.
I want problems always.
No. But now, just speaking of that, you having experienced that and overcoming that, do you think it's the way you said the trauma? Is it that it comes back? Do you have bad dreams, or how is it triggered to take you back to that space where you think, like, you know what, this is still not?
With things like trauma, you learn how to cope. You'll never forget. So, for instance, if, let's say that person was wearing a certain cologne and I walk in here and that's exactly the cologne you have, my mind drifts back to what happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
And your mood will just...
change. I can even relieve it physically. Like, you can see me fighting in the air.
No.
Yes, it happens.
Like your physical body will just...
Yes. Because what happens, you see, when some people get gripped, their mind switches off to try to deal with what is actually going on. So it's their subcon that's powering everything. So you'll find even someone telling you they remember seeing the person in the beginning and in the end, they don't know exactly what happened in between. So that in between is like a trauma response. It's not voluntary, it's involuntary. So when you're triggered, it can come out also. Exactly what you did when you did it. It comes out. There's a series that depicts this so well. It's called The Sinner, season 1. You should try watch it, and then you'll understand what I mean by how, like,
it's called
The Sinner.
The Sinner.
Yeah, okay. Season 1. It literally it talks about trauma and how someone went through something and relived it in actual real life. Yeah, real time, basically.
No, go on. I'm listening.
Yeah. So yeah, it happens. It happens. So I like right now. I can't say I've forgotten everything that happened to me. I can just say I'm at a place where I'm able to deal with it better, like in a more healthy way. I'm able to cope with it. But I do have times when I'm triggered, where I can be counseling someone, and they talk about something that I
can relate to, like, directly.
So you see, I won't show my client that I'll go after I'm done with my client to go and now talk to my therapist, and they can tell, okay, Elsie, today is a bad day for you. Take time off. something like that. Or scents, clothes, maybe a location, maybe some physical features. Anything can be a trigger, even a car.
Oh, I drive an E36 BMW. But, that's crazy because you have to deal with so much. And you don't know what's going to trigger. And even the person who's next to you, they wouldn't know how. Wait, also, this is an interesting question. How do you relate to guys now? Because that's something that's happened to you like a couple of times. How do you relate with guys?
I have nothing against men. I don't believe in this stereotyping and generalization. I believe I'll blame the person who did it, period. It has nothing to do with the whole gender. I love men to death. Of course, not in that way.
No, you don't even know in what way I've asked. I haven't even said in what way.
No.
I just looked at you.
Me, I'm saying in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying in a sexual way?
I've always been attracted to women.
Oh, so you don't like men? Oh, wait. Oh, so basically what you're saying, like the way you mentioned that those two girls said that, she deserves it because she likes girls. So that's what you meant, because you actually like women, and them they were like, no, okay.
Let her anyway.
Get a nini.
I have nothing against men.
You've
I have
never
been
liked
attracted
nini?
to be men before.
I've
been attracted to men before. But it's very rare.
Do you think that was triggered cause from okay, so no, wait. I haven't even asked the question.
No, because I get that question.
So how or when did you know that you like girls and not boys or men?
My first kiss was a girl.
Me too. Okay, wait. At what age?
How old?
Yeah.
I was class. Oh my God. I was class.
I say
2
young.
or 3. Yeah, I was young. Young.
But at that time, you would know and tell that.
You see how you'd have a crush growing up that is of the opposite sex for most people.
I mean, I
Like
don't want to say yeah.
There was that person you'd see in class and you're like, I'll share my break with this one. I'll go and do my homework with this one.
I mean, I used to.
Because you're trying to get their attention.
At a young age.
At like 9, 10, class 4, class 5. Of course, by that time, like you're getting into your adolescence very soon. So it's something you can't fight. It's hormonal also, right? Right? I'm not saying
I won't say yes, and then somebody says that.
No. What I'm trying to say.
Because I was hanging out with boys, but it's just because that's boys do stuff. So you see what I'm saying?
What I'm trying to say is you can be 11 or 12 years old and you're in a class, in a mixed school, and there's just that one person that is always bullying you every single day. You think that person is bullying you, but that person is just looking for your attention. Or that person who's so nice to you will help you do homework. There are those who are genuinely nice, don't get it twisted. But it's just, there has to be a first crush. And you can't tell me it will happen when you're 18 years old. Let's just be realistic.
True.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, my first crush was a girl.
At that time, you could. That's crazy. That's what I'm saying. Some things, it's conversations help people understand. And that's why, even with my podcast, I've had so many people. I've had over 100 people, and everybody has such a different experience. But I don't think I've had someone with a unique experience like yours, because I don't even understand half of the things. I'm just trying, because if you tell me about a crush at that age, and have you ever had a boy crush? Because I'm guessing if you're young, you're still trying to figure out, okay,
I did.
You like this person, but you're not sure. Because at that time, you don't know what a lesbian is, I'm guessing, right? Because it's just she's pretty, I like her, I like being around her, and that's it.
I had when I was in class 8.
A boy crush.
Yeah.
And and you didn't get a first kiss from
No,
them?
he did. Yeah.
And then you're like, this is not for me. I knew it.
Okay, I think it's because he was very, very, very handsome. So there was that, someone who looks handsome to the point that they're almost beautiful.
It's those BTS guys from Nini. They're called BTS, right? From Korea. You don't know that boy band?
I am not into those Korean dramas.
No. It's like a
they're,
band.
they're really pretty.
Yo.
Yeah.
The first time I was shown, it's like, there's this band I want us to watch. So she starts playing the music video and I'm like, hey, these girls from Korea, by the way. Okay. They seem, I can see they're pretty, but I can't tell because I didn't want to ask, like, are they boys or nini? So it's just like, because even how they sing, I think they do makeup? They don't? They have skincare routines. They look like girls, by the way. So I think that's what you're saying, like handsome but almost beautiful. Oh, those guys are beautiful, by the way. They're not handsome, I'm telling you. I'll show you an image. I wish.
Because when I see the ones who have their nini,
let me see.
They have their eyebrows done better than mine. They have clean nails. They have good hair. Like, I'm just like, dead skin on point. Okay, maybe I can reconsider.
But those kind of guys would be liking guys too, right?
Nope.
Really?
Men take care of themselves.
I do, but I don't look like that. I go for massages. I go for nini. I just started... Where's my nini? I have my whole skincare routine thing that was brought to me. I do my nails. I get all those things, but still, come on. You're not finding me.
Next question.
I want to show you how the band looks, by the way. Hold on. I think here they're pictures. Yeah, here they are. That's BTS.
Yeah. But now not this type.
What type? To be plus tall and dark.
I can incriminate myself if I show you somebody.
Oh, okay. You don't have to. But yeah, now, so if we go back to counseling, because like I think even as much as we talk, I've said the podcast is about health, wealth, love, and happiness. You see, like as much as we're talking about this, it's still touching on everything because we're touching on mental health. You're talking about relationships. We've talked about like money, of course. But how does this, like your experience and everything that's happened to you, how does that shape how you choose like your partner now? Even let's say it's a girl, but your parent knows you like.
Of course.
She does.
They knew. My mom knew about my first kiss. I came out to my dad when I was in high school.
How did he... Is he an old school guy, like, old school guys, the way they are, before you start explaining to them, they're like, what?
He actually had to go and, like, read about everything. But he told me, as long as you always bring back good grades, your life is your life. And I made sure I didn't disappoint.
So your grades, you had to. At least it's the least you could do now. It's
always.
like just...
And it's not just grades, even sports clubs. Like, I was an all-rounded student.
What kind of sports were you into?
Football, swimming, athletics.
Really?
Medals. I have so many medals and trophies at home.
No. Participation trophies, Ama, you were actually winning.
I was actually winning.
Ah.
Yeah, I used to do both sprinting and long distance. Even after Form 4, they tried to recruit me to Olympics, and my dad was like, your name is not Jep.
Yeah, you can't make it. Yeah.
So
it's
like,
not Nini.
Like, and I'm like, but I have the skill, though.
Yeah,
it's just, you know how...
You know how it works. Yeah. You know how it works. Yeah. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, I would want to know how now, like your selection process, if you're dating someone, how do you pick them? And are you in a relationship right now?
Yeah, almost 3 years. We'll be together for 3 years in October. So one thing I like about my partner, or what I like in my partners, I like enlightening them about mental health. So they know what they're getting themselves into when it comes to me. Like my current partner knows everything about. She knows all my triggers. She knows everything I've gone through. Like she knows the basis.
So if you have an outburst of something, she knows
exactly
how
what to do.
to handle it.
Like I'd wake up in the morning and she can tell, okay, today is one of those days where Elsie doesn't want to function. She will make sure, like, she'll make the day as conducive as possible for me to be better. So it's she didn't know anything about mental health when we met, just the stereotypes. So I enlightened her and I took my time and I told her, like, if you're gonna be with me, you need to know 1, 2, 3 and how to deal with 1, 2, 3. Because there's no way I can just put all that baggage on someone and they don't know what they're dealing with.
You know, at times, but I know I don't say it as a joke. At times I kind of think, like, I've had conversation and at times you'd hear me saying, I think all women are crazy.
We are.
In here, you know why? And I was also having this conversation with a friend of mine, and I was telling her, like, you know, the first thing that you go into my kitchen, have you seen knives anywhere in my kitchen? Do you even know where they are? Yeah, you see?
Who have you been with?
No, I'm just telling you. Knives in my house, that will be kept away from women and children.
Not even that.
So even if you need to cut anything,
you too to cut it.
You tell me, I'll get you a plastic knife. I'll get you a plastic knife, and then you can cut on your way out of the house. You can cut whatever you need to cut it on your way out of the house. But yeah, no, not because of that. And I think I remember I was having this back and forth about that, and then the lady who appeared on blogs like slicing her kid and stuff, that happened like 2 days later. So I was telling my friend, you see, this is exactly what I was saying, but not in that context. But I'm just saying, I've just had so many crazy stories from people. Personally, no, I haven't experienced that. But I just think those are things. Everything else we can deal with here. Like, you know, we can pillow fight, and, you know, I can restrain you a bit. But
you like taking precaution, I've noticed. That's like the third time a statement you've made where you're taking precaution first.
Yeah, it's just those one better safe than sorry. You know, I don't even know how to deal with. Like, let's say there's a situation, I was with someone, like, just talking, and we've linked up, we've had a good time and stuff, and they started having like an outburst and stuff. So I was just quiet, and they kept on asking me, like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah. But in my head, I'm just like, bitch, I'm just waiting until you leave.
Can I even call your Uber?
Oh, I took her for lunch and everything. Uber actually dropped her off. But never, she knows she was blocked forever, ever. Never talking to you again. Because I don't even know how I'm supposed to handle certain situations anymore. So I'd rather be safe, take all the best precautions, but I don't want to be part of. And I think when people have such outbursts, they can't handle themselves. They don't know that I don't need to throw all this weight on this other person.
Somebody,
yeah. I think the best thing you can do as a guy is just you have to play safe. Because if you have an outburst, I have an outburst as well. Where's that going to take us, Elsie?
But it's very few people who reason like that. Because for me, when I'm having a conflict with my girlfriend in the house, and I feel like so mad to the point where I know I'm gonna address her disrespectfully, I leave the house and go and cool off fast.
Yeah.
Because I know the moment I say, at least...
You'll say something you can't take back.
Physical, your scar can heal. But there's something I can say that will damage you for the rest of your life, your future relationships and everything. Yeah. So I'm always I'll walk out.
Just go.
Even if she's begging me to say, I'm like, listen, just give me 2 hours.
Yeah, let me just go.
I'll
be back.
Regroup my thoughts and then come back. Now when we were talking, it's actually productive. Instead of us calling each other names and, breaking stuff. I break and then I go and buy the next day. Why?
Yeah. Kwanzaa, now here's the thing. You've hosted, like, you know about Airbnbs and stuff. How do you like I've put my house together? On point, eh?
On point.
So now imagine somebody's, here's the first thing. I'm just looking at, like, she's throwing all these tantrums and stuff. I'm looking at my painting. I'm looking at my couch. I'm like, no. We have to play nice. Like, do you want to go have breakfast? Yeah, sour. Well, is everything okay? Need some pocket money. Need to buy some shoes. We go buy shoes. once you're out of this house,
You're not coming back.
You're not coming back. Because I'm just like, now there's just too much in place. Like, and I also like, even for my own reputation, I just want peace of mind. I don't want to be part of that problem. And I know at times people get pushed to the edge, but self-control is like the best thing that you can have.
Self-discipline. It's
Self-discipline,
very, very
self-control.
rare.
I mean, it's very rare. But how do you, moving onwards from that, how do you plan, like, or where do you see like your future probably in 6-7 years? Have you ever planned on having like kids, or how does that situation go now? Because, you know, I mean, Americans have different situations, and it's so confusing now. Too many terms.
I know.
You know, I used to love rainbows when I was a kid.
And now you know what they're affiliated to.
My diagrams, I remember my drawings and stuff, they never used to miss a rainbow. It's like,
Not anymore.
It's not like not anymore. Now I can just appreciate a rainbow, but from a distance, because I can't have a shirt that has a rainbow.
Why?
Listen, I've already had people send me messages and stuff trying to nini, but
you must be lucky you attract both genders. You book club for yourself.
Listen, well, we'll just do this. We'll just do this for the sake of, hold on. Do I have... I'll just put it this way. People who appreciate me and, you know, find me look good looking and stuff. Thanks to my assistant, now I have a skincare routine. It's going to get even more better. So, I mean, but, you know, just, you know, we just respect each other's boundaries. But it's just something that I don't know how I'm supposed to handle, but I'm very respectful. I understand even if you're pursuing and stuff, but I'm always very respectful. Also, just ghosting and just keep it moving.
I'm going to have kids when I'm 30. I want a boy and a girl. Hopefully, God gives me both genders, wakifuatana, then I can close that chapter.
So how's that going to happen if you'll be
sperm
with
donor.
Ah.
So artificial insemination.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something you've already planned and stuff.
It's something I've looked into.
Do you know couples who've done that around you that, you know, maybe have been role models, or you've seen them handle that? Because I know getting kids, that's one thing. But now raising kids also, and maybe explaining to them. Because, you know, you'll have to go for Parents' Day and you'll be going for those. And, you know, you'll have to explain maybe to your kid, is it mommy and mommy coming for Parents' Day? And how other kids might be taking it, how other parents will be handling it. Have you thought about all those things?
Definitely. I think we'll be the first Kenyan couple to do it, but we do have friends abroad who've done it and they're doing it really well.
Yeah.
One thing about me, I'm very inquisitive. Like, I don't get into something blindly. So I've watched so many documentaries. I've watched YouTube channels of couples who do this and document it and stuff like that. I've talked to people personally.
White people though, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
even mixed
white
race.
people are
even
crazy.
Mixed race.
Even mixed.
Everyone is crazy. Do you know psychology says what? There's some insanity in every single person.
Are you crazy as well? I need to... You are.
You just maybe haven't seen.
I haven't seen it yet, right? But, you know, even you can be crazy, but, you know, here I'll just be cordial and nice. Once you walk outside that door... but I know what you're saying. But I think like in Europe and let's just say Europe and States, things are on such extremes that I don't even understand. Honestly, I don't understand. Here, at least, even when I'm talking to you, there's some things I kind of understand once you start explaining, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense because of trauma, A, B, C, and D. But now abroad, it's so... We have men who are getting periods abroad.
Yeah, transgenders. You know what
so
happens?
You see, that to me, I don't even know how to...
LGBT is a huge spectrum.
I don't even know how to nini it.
Like, the people who are like this are homosexuals because they were born a man in a woman's body or a woman in a man's body. So that's hormone imbalance. Yeah, it happens where you find even someone with both organs. And then, of course, there's one that's more dominant than the other.
There was one
Or they both
yeah.
work actually both dominantly.
True.
And then you'll find someone, maybe it's trauma, maybe the first interaction they had with the opposite sex was something very traumatic to them, so they tend to go to the same sex. There are those who experiment, like it's broad. There are those who experiment and they find out they like it.
Bisexual or what?
No,
or
even-
just
even-
experimenting,
even- yes,
curious.
you can-
Bi-curious.
Yeah, because you see, most girls have ever kissed a girl before, whether they are hetero or homo. Most, not all, most. And there are those who
I'm just, I mean, it's two women
Yeah.
here. I'm just trying to understand.
right,
Have
like
you?
most girls,
You have? No? Oh, okay.
it happens.
Think she's lying.
I don't know. It happens. It even happens.
Yeah, just your mom, right?
It can happen
Good
in
girl.
boarding
Maintain
school.
that. Right?
It can happen in a girls' boarding school. It can happen in a mixed school. The circumstances.
yeah,
it can even
especially
be, you can
like,
even
yeah.
be a sleepover with your cousin or your friend, and you end up making out. You know, like it happens. You can even be at the club with your friend, and you guys are on point today. You're like, you know what? Kiss me today, bestie. All right. You kiss, you even
But
go home and
just
do
to be clear,
more.
this is for chicks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. As I said, most girls.
Yeah, because I think, and that's why, like, I think it's also like a slippery slope because, like, girls can take showers together. They can apply lotion on each other.
So we always go to the bathroom together. What do you think we go to the bathroom to
Exactly.
do sometimes?
Make out. To make
Especially those ones who are in the club with their boyfriends.
Scared to like, oh, wait, really?
Oh no. Oh no.
To like, let my friend take me to the bathroom. So me as a guy, I'm just there, just chilling. I'm just waiting like, hi, Kwani, what's taking too long? Jeez.
But yeah,
Things you
like-
have to deal with.
Homosexuals come in different forms and shapes and all of that. So there are those, like I said, hormonal imbalance. There are those who actually that's who you are. From get-go, you're naturally attracted to the same sex. It has nothing to
Like
do with your
born
upbringing.
that's the born
like
this
that.
way, yeah.
That the first attraction will be to the same sex, not because you chose, but because that's what feels natural to you. Yeah.
Crazy world we're living in, and
It's getting
like I've said,
crazier.
it's getting crazier now. But all you can do, because you see, like, I haven't had kids, so I can't just be talking rubbish, and then like if my kid comes with a different experience, it will be now traumatic for me to handle it. I'd rather just understand,
Yeah.
because you can only imagine. Let's say like if your cousin or one of your friends like just came out and told you like they're actually in, how are you supposed to handle it? You actually supposed to try and understand.
That's why it's normally hard for some people to come out, because they will feel like they're a disappointment, because you're taught normalcy is heterosexuality. But
How do your friends handle it? Like, let's see, how did your friends handle it?
for me, I didn't care. You like it,
You don't care about your
like
friends?
it. No, what I'm trying to say, it's my
Yeah,
sexuality.
yeah, but how, like, because, at times that's not what you can control. Now, this is how you see, like, other people, like, reacting to once they know this is how you move and this is how you like. Did it change anything, like, from your circle and people, how they treat you?
If my friends had a problem, they never made it clear to me. I had some family members, extended family members, who had a problem with me before I was 18. Then when I started earning money, now they care about me. And I'm like, you still remember that money you told me is demonic? Yeah, I only have demonic money.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so don't ask for
Don't
nini.
ask. Don't ask. This is unnatural money, in fact.
No, that's just, and that's what I'm saying. You see, everything that you go through and you do, it kind of triggers the next thing as well. Because now you also have, like I've said, kids at school might be teased, might just have to deal with that. But you also have to explain to them and make them grow in a way that they understand those are just things that are going to happen. And, as long as mommy loves you
To death.
to death, that's just the most important thing.
Because I'm assuming when I have kids, like, if I'm going to go and pick them from school with my wife, then I'll make sure they go to a school where they are taught about this also, like open-mindedness. For instance, USIU, the reason why I went to that campus is because they don't judge you according to your sexuality, your dress code, your hair, your piercings, nothing. You go to a school like
Strathmore.
Dreadlock, my friend, is the hair doing the exam? Is the outfit doing the exam? You're teaching me to dress like I work in the government.
Yeah,
Who's I'm gonna go and work in the government and I'm done here? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll make sure my kids go to a school where like they're taught about diversity because it's important. You can't just know one way of life. You have to try to understand even the ways of life you haven't lived.
That's true.
Yeah.
And just keeping an open mind. But what do you think would make you happy? Because like right now, and that's something that I'm always asking everyone like who comes to my podcast, what's the one thing or what do you think now would make you happy?
Helping people.
Yeah.
Helping people. I'm an empath and I'm a giver. Like giver emotionally, psychologically, physically, all of that, yeah? So I love helping people and being there for them.
It fulfills kind of like
something
your
inside
purpose.
me. Yeah, like it makes, to know that someone needed someone and I was there and it made an impact, makes me happy that I've made their life a bit more better, if that makes sense.
I mean, listen, I don't want to say everything you've said to me. I can understand exactly what it means. But yeah, like even like going back, I'll have to go through the footage and just also like reflect back on so many things that you've said. But, I think there are so many girls right now. Like I think, what's this quote that you normally say? Like, if you have a girl in Nairobi, she's either bisexual or
Crazy.
no, what's the word? Because they both rhyme. Now I've lost the plot.
Bipolar.
Yeah, they're either bipolar or
I know
exactly what I'm saying. So yeah, the quote is always like, she's either bipolar or bisexual. Now choose one
Which
that
one you want?
Which one, choose your poison, right? So that you
But
know what you
how
have to
can you
deal
be
with.
bisexual and single? Like both genders wamekukataa. How?
Stress. You're a problem. You said, may choose problems.
Always.
But it's just things that we have to deal with on a regular. So for like bringing you back to that just quote, I know it's like a joke, but for young girls who like are going through like that phase right now and maybe like they watch like, let's say, this episode, how would you tell them to just maneuver through it? Like, how are they supposed to? Yeah, just say, because we're talking about both mental and sexual. Because it's both things that are tied to actually what you've experienced and also like what you do, like also professionally. Like you have a girlfriend and you actually are a psychologist. So that's...
Well, I'd say if you're below 18, listen to what your parents are saying. They know better. And most times, parents have better instincts than us. Most parents. If you're over 18 and you're still trying to discover whether you're straight or you're bi or you're gay or you're lesbian, pan, all those other terms, just take time and find yourself. Don't try to do things because everyone is doing, because you think it's cool, because it's the trend. Do it because that's what your soul is yearning for. Don't try.
Sorry to cut you off. That just jumped in my head and you're in the zone already. Just finish.
Yeah, like don't live your life trying to please others or trying to meet people where they are. Like, know yourself. Self-awareness is very important. Like, once you know yourself, then it's easier to navigate your sexuality and know, okay, this is the kind of person I am, this is what I feel, this is what I'm attracted to. The people who, like, they can love you to death and never touch you. That's their love language. And there are people who patana and they click like that.
Wait, and that... are we talking about like relationship-wise?
Yeah.
They love each other?
Yeah.
I think those are just couples who are tired of each other. The ones who just go to...
No. The people who are romantic, asexual. I told you
What's
this
that?
thing it's broad.
So they like each other.
Like you can like someone, and not want to be physical with them. Like
okay.
Ever.
But we're together or no?
We're in a relationship, but we don't have sex.
Wait, but I get to go and smash somebody else?
No, you don't have sex at all.
That's your choice. You don't want to. So even me now.
No, they can get a partner who they align, like they are both the same.
No. Let's say you're talking about, let's be practical. Let's say you're saying in that situation you don't want to be physical. And me, like, let's say as your boyfriend, I have to now also like just join the wagon, and we're in a relationship, do everything together, but you don't want to be physical, right?
There's differences. There are those who both couples don't do it. There's those who
They just stay like that.
There's those that one couple, one partner doesn't want to be touched but touches the other one. There are those who, of course, both touch each other. So it depends.
And you know people who are in these situations?
I've dated a touch me not before, but I stayed with her for 2 months because there's no way.
It's called a
touch me not. Like, how do you expect me to show you affection and love and it's not physical? Because I know it as also physical. It's not just physical, but I know it as also physical.
Yeah.
So it
like
was
that's a plus. Like in a relationship, that's a plus.
It was hard for me. I tried 2 months. I was like,
this is not working
for me. It's not for me.
But do you think right now, where we are, like in the day and age, do you think girls are doing it as a trend?
I think...
Because I think I've met girls who are like that. You're like, yo, it's common nowadays for like, yo, can I come with my friend? Like, yo, would you mind if I was like...
It happens.
Like, I thought you'd never ask. I thought you'd never ask.
Imagine it happens.
I might be like those ones of like, you know, I don't know how I feel about that, but you know, but it's okay. Yeah, let's try.
I'd be at the club, and because I'm like out, a drunk girl who's maybe the boyfriend or she's straight. Hi, Elsie, can I just kiss you today?
Yeah, because she wants to be.
So the next day you come and ask me what happened. I do not deal with drunk girls, especially these straight ones, and the ones who get experimental when they're drunk. And I'm like, I am not a sense experiment. Go experiment with your boyfriend or your best friend or somebody else. But yes, there are those who do it because they think
a trend.
It's trendy. It's cool. So you see, those are the ones who...
I agree.
Those are the ones who dismiss us. Because there are those of us who are like...
Hey, let's not dismiss girls who own any. We have to support everyone, right? Remember, we're here not to judge.
Experiment.
Let's...
Sips drink.
Let's not jump into conclusions and judge people.
No, what I'm trying to say is... When you find people like those experimenting, the ones who are actually LGBT... Like
find
it's
it like a turn off, right?
Yeah, it's easy for us to be thrown under the bus because if there are people who are experimenting and they say they're part of the spectrum, what about the actual ones who are actually part of the spectrum?
And they are dealing with so many other things.
We'll be told it's just a face. So many times have I been told it's just a face. You get? That's what I meant by like they dismiss. Yeah.
But I think a phase, I would say probably if you're just between 18, 22 there. After that, I think you already know like what actually you like.
Yeah.
And I think there are also those ones who like, they know they like girls, but they just can't go public with that. So they just stick to boyfriends and they're like...
No, in public, they'll have a boyfriend. But behind closed doors...
Like they'll always like meet up.
I know a couple of people who are married, men, married to a wife, had kids with their wife, but has a whole boyfriend living somewhere else who they're actually in love with. So the wife is just there for the show because maybe there are people who
in
people
Kenya
know.
You're talking about in Kenya. Yeah, the way you're looking at me like
I'm trying to make sure I use my words properly.
Yeah.
But yes, there are people who let me give another scenario. There's a shooting that happened in 2020 somewhere abroad about a guy who went to a gay club and shot people. When they did their research on him, they found out this guy was gay, married to a woman. They had kids, but he was in denial. So the fact that people were living their life so openly and freely gay,
he felt bad.
So he went and murdered people at a gay club. So you see, homophobia sometimes is not actually someone hating us. It's someone who can't actually live their truth, and they're angry that us we're living our truth.
And what do you think about a country like Uganda where they're just like, Do you know that famous guy who started the interview with like, yo,
Are you gay?
are you gay? Why are you gay? And the chick's like, no, who says I know, you are gay.
Like, homosexuality, the thing is, people don't understand. It's always been there.
No. Let's talk
Yeah,
about like
Uganda.
in Uganda. Yeah.
Yeah, like
have you
it's-
been to Uganda?
Yes,
You
I've been
have?
to Tororo. I have family in Tororo.
What?
My grandmother.
So how do you
stays
move
there.
around when you're there? You know that's
I went there. Last
zero
time I was there
tolerance there. Eh?
was when I was 21. But I don't go there wearing a rainbow flag.
Yeah, you already know what's gonna happen there.
I mean, I don't get scared. I don't go to places where they can.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because I think there was an activist. I don't know whether you've seen that documentary. There was this activist in UG who was being sponsored, like with, like like how those NGOs from abroad and stuff, like So he was demonstrating and stuff, and they just got him like he was hammered to death in his house.
Because he was part of the spectrum.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
no, because he was preaching against like the government and Nini.
That's crazy. It's, not
'Cause
not every African
it's-
country is the
it's
same.
The president. President is Museveni, right? Yeah, him is just like, nope.
Is it Museveni or Magufuli?
No, Magufuli died. That's Tanzania.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I'm playing with your head. I need to see how well you know East Africa. See, now that's...
I got you. But yeah, so I'm just saying, like, what do you think? What are your thoughts about like such countries?
I find that so backward, but at the same time, I can't really judge them because that's what they know.
No, do you think they should respect? Because also, if you look at how they think or look at it, is like, why shouldn't you also respect what they believe in if you're forcing them kind of to believe in what you like?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's how they are. It's the same way right now. I can't go to the village. I can't go to the village and show everyone I'm gay.
Why not? You're living your truth.
What I'm trying to say is I can't... Right now, if I go with my girlfriend and I make out with her...
Yeah, that's pushing.
Exactly.
Pushing.
But now you see, if I do that somewhere like in a high-end restaurant in Kenya, no one will come and tell me anything.
Yeah.
At my balcony in my house, no one will come and tell me anything. At the club, no one will. But if I try that downtown right now,
Yeah.
you get, like, it's
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you kind of have to be aware of
your surroundings.
because not everyone will be. And there's some
Accepting,
people
yeah.
who already, they just forget even about LGBTQ. There are people who don't even understand what sexual harassment is. If you just walk around, there's some places I know, even if you walk like just the way you are with a dress, Evie, you know how some guys, it's like we've seen incidents and stuff. Yes, people have been arrested, but there are people who don't even know.
Yeah.
They don't know what's...
Someone will grab your ass and think that because you've worn tight pants, you've worn it to be grabbed.
Yeah.
And I'll break your hand.
But I'm just saying,
you're trying me. Let's
there's
try.
some places
Yeah.
you can't move like that because
That's
people
true.
just don't respect or even think of. And I'm sure it's not just in Nairobi. If you go to, like, let's say now up country, because when you say that incident that happened to you at 8 years old, how many girls do you think go through that
So many.
up country? And it's like a normal thing, like from their
For them,
uncles,
it's crazy.
even
Their fathers, their brothers.
in Ukambani, like brothers, dads, like mpaka you're like, it makes no sense.
And imagine the breadwinner is the one who's doing this to you every single day. Your mother knows what is happening. She's doing
course.
nothing about
Of
it.
course.
You can't live there because that's where school fees, education, shelter education, everything is coming from.
All your basic needs are coming from.
That's
By
why
the time you're 18,
when you see street kids, sometimes you have no idea why they're in the
they
streets.
prefer being in the street than
Yeah.
other being home. And they actually have a home, but they're like, I'd rather
I'd
just
rather
be.
be in the streets.
That's wild. But, it's just interesting to have somebody from the community. Or what do you call it? I don't know. What
Actually,
terms am I supposed to use?
I imagine I don't do labels. I just know I'm not straight. But yes, it's the spectrum, the LGBT community. It's Pride Month. Did you know that?
Listen. Actually, yeah. That's why it's
Pride
on
Month.
Twitter and
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, I'll tell you, the craziest thing as well. Like, there's also this project I was working on, and it was quite big, right? And I was representing, like, I'm managing the client, And the guys who were doing the kind of deal with, that we were with doing the deal with, they were from New York and like a couple of other different states. But one of the head guys was like LGBTQ, right? So even like, like there are those guys, even from how they talk, you can just tell like, okay, he's actually definitely
Not straight.
yeah. So we're talking and everything. And then he says like, I hope you guys understand, like, because you're from Africa, and, I hope you understand like this should also reflect well on LGBTQ and everything and stuff. So like, so what does your client think about that? So I'm like, this is the part where he's actually busy right now and I have to represent him. So I was just like, I don't want this guy to fuck up the money. Like, we love everyone. I do not care what you like, who you like, and everything. I was just like, okay. And that's just my perspective. Love and respect everyone. Because I didn't know what my client would say, because he's super traditional. Super traditional. And for me, at the time, I was just like, this month, first of all, I don't even know how I'm paying rent.
You can
this month,
fumble that money.
yeah, like this month, legit, I don't know how I'm paying rent. So I cannot let anyone just open their mouth and blabber out and then apologize to me later like, I'm sorry, I didn't. So just like, I don't even know what you're about to say.
But don't say it.
But yeah, I will speak on our behalf. I was just like, love everyone and everything. So I think that pushed us to a good corner in place, and we actually got that deal. It went through. Everyone was happy. But, I respect the movement and everything, but it's confusing. It's still confusing to me. I won't say that I understand everything that's happening, but I respect, and I'm just open to learning more and more.
There's so much. I'm still learning. I can't say. With life, every single day is a learning experience. Like today, there's definitely stuff I'm going to pick from this podcast that you might think I know, but I actually don't. Because with people and perspectives, we won't see it as it is. Like the example I was giving you about the door. We can be put under the same situation and we'll all react differently because we all have different perspectives. So like you always have to be open to learn.
True.
Yeah.
True. So I know we've had at least, this is an hour and 22 minutes.
No way.
Yeah.
It felt like 30 minutes.
No, an hour and 22.
I don't want to stop.
But no. But here's the thing. That's the best thing about the podcast. And that's why, like I was even saying, just setting up my own space is that now it's easy for me to just call you like, Elsie, where are you? Can we talk about this and this? Because maybe we've seen something that's happened online and stuff. Now it's much easier. Because I don't have to call management somewhere like, can I book a reservation? I'm going to shoot between this and this time. No. I'll just call you up and we can do an episode. If you ever want to bring your girlfriend around to shoot an episode.
Very camera shy.
Or camera shy.
Very, very.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, if you ever have
future,
like a situation where there's something specific you want to touch on, why not? We can always like organize. I can get, maybe if there's a third person we can include online. That's why I've set this up in such a way that we can actually include somebody else on video, even if it's through an international platform, and still incorporate it in an ini. We can call, they can join in, and we can still have a convo. So that's the best thing about my setup. So I don't want to squeeze all the juice out now. I have to save something for later.
Of course.
And just know that, of course, like now you're part of this community as well. The Kiss
You're
Capades
also
podcast.
part of this community. My community,
Of course.
not LGBT.
No. Listen, look at you, like even correcting yourself. No, I have nothing against this. Like I've told you, like I'm such an open-minded person. Not in that way, but I understand and I respect, love everyone. Some of my DMs come, I can show you. It's like I'm just like, why?
Why?
Why are you sending me this?
To try one day.
Elsie.
There's a time someone told me, you should try guys, maybe you'll be straight. I told him, you try guys also, we see maybe you'll be gay.
No, it's not about that. But, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand what you're saying. When you say that, of course, even thank you for even just being open to have this conversation. I don't know whether you've had it in such a setup or setting.
No, actually.
You haven't? then that's what I'm saying. Like, even just doing that, I respect and I appreciate. Just know that I'm not taking it for granted. But it's good that I can ask you questions. You can't take any offense, and you can also explain it to me, like, as a child, to understand something.
Why would I take
like,
offense?
Come on. You know how right now, if remember the first thing that I told you, like, even about like endorsements and stuff, I say, like, if I know I can't have an open conversation without something being taken out of context and money ripped away from something that I'm building, I'd rather do it solo and just grow until I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
I do not want a cosign from anyone. I'd rather somebody just comes here and we have a talk. Even if we were not friends or we are not friends, but we're ready to have like a conversation about something that will give us a bond. That's the most important thing about my platform. That's all I want. Now, I don't want money from anyone. Staki, I do not want. I don't want, because it kind of makes you start waving towards, like, your manager has said that you talked about AB. Maybe the manager is a sponyo somewhere, like, why are you guys touching on sponyos? And my boss is like, so you were just busy having like a normal conversation, and then it turns out into and corporate is so, there's a reason why you don't want to be in corporate. Those rules and regulations is boring.
I can't deal.
Exactly. Those phone calls will always be coming. Now, if you are working in a corporation, they'd be like, yo,
what did you say on air?
We've just seen that episode, and it just doesn't tie with our community guidelines in the office.
Freedom of expression. Excuse me, the Constitution talks about freedom of expression.
But that's what I'm saying. Already it's putting you in a position where things are becoming a bit tricky. And I don't want that. So I'd rather somebody come here, be comfortable, and just talk about anything that you want without second guessing, holding back. Yeah, and without necessary gossip, just talking about important things in life.
Yeah.
Because you'll see online now, everything that people are gravitating towards now, it's either gossip, entertainment, or just an escape from reality. But yet there's so many other different things you can talk about that are important and affect individuals every single day.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool? So now I want you to tell people where they can find you, because we're just winding up the podcast. I was waiting for us to clock 1 hour, 30 minutes, and we are getting close. So I want you to tell people where they can find you and anything else you have going on that you'd want to like just plug.
First things first, if you ever need therapy, come to me. I offer free counseling sessions for those who can't afford. And of course, I also charge. Just come to me and I'll let you know how we'll proceed. On Instagram, self-made East African _in-between. That's where you get me. From there, we can exchange numbers and everything. So if you need anything that I do is already on my personal page. So you can check my activism, my mental advocacy. It's all on my personal page with the linked accounts. So self-made East African _in-between.
Where did the name self-made come from, Mama? What brought that up?
I just woke up one day and decided to call myself East African. 2, my mom is from Tanzania. My dad is Kenyan.
Oh, your mom is Tanzania.
And then my dad's stepmom is from Uganda. So East Africa.
So Uganda, do you always travel in those?
Yeah.
And you have to deal with all the rules for different countries.
Tanzania, you have to work with daras.
Oh yeah, you can't. But he said they're open-minded to dress codes and stuff, right? No?
No. It's like Mombasa. Mombasa is just fun when you're driving and you're at the high end.
Yeah, but otherwise the other places, guys are always like... But yeah, thanks for coming up. I mean, I really respect and appreciate. It's been a long time coming. It's been a couple of years, but here we are. We've done an episode, and I want us to do it again.
Definitely.
So I think anybody who's been watching, make sure you follow her, and just in case of any business, make sure you just reach out. Let her know what's up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's the Kisscapades podcast. Goodbye, and see you in the next episode.